Hello, my beautiful friend, and welcome back to another daily video. Well, we're going to talk about Nintendo again, and as you have seen in the title and the thumbnail, probably, they're in another lawsuit again. This is nothing new for big companies, but this is so funny to me. Nintendo suing the United States government over tariffs. Oh boy, here we go. So, as always, you will find everything in the description box down below. This article by Insider Gaming, written by Robert De Felice. I think that's how you pronounce the last name. As first reported by Nicole Carpenter of Aftermath, Nintendo of America is suing the United States government over the broad tariff policy enacted by President Donald Trump in 2025. The complaint, filed in the US Court of International Trade, claims that since February 2025, the Trump administration has imposed unlawful tariffs, leading to the collection of over $200 billion US in tariffs on imports from nearly all countries. I mean, it can't be just me, right? But isn't it good for the United States? I mean, collecting money from other countries because, import and stuff. This is how it works. I mean, Germany does it as well with other countries. They're also paying tariffs. So, yeah. Let's go further. In the complaint, Nintendo's legal counsel says the gaming company has standing to sue because it imports goods that were subject to IEEPA duties, whatever this might be. We're going to look at that in a moment. Therefore, they're seeking a refund with interest on the tariffs they paid. Oh boy, they don't have balls of steel, they have balls of tungsten. Holy crap, they are so over their own heads that they are suing a whole state, sorry, not even a state, the whole country of the United States of America. And they're going the extra mile of, but you're going to pay us more than we paid you. The audacity. However, a specific amount was not stated. Alternatively, they would want to enter a money judgment for the amount. They're also asking for a reasonable attorney fees. They want even more. What is going on? They lost so much money on potential money. I'm sorry. On the Switch 2 and everything involved with the Switch 2, because people are waking up to Nintendo's, business. As they're selling nostalgia, they're selling games that are 20 plus years old for prices that are not worth the games. I'm not judging anyone who's buying the games because they are also a big part of my childhood. They're a big part of my teeny years, however you say it in English. In my teens, I think that's the proper way to say it. If you want those games, there are other ways, which are also legal, by the way. You can just go into a second-hand store and take this game and put it on your phone. It's easy. You just need the physical edition, which, by the way, is really easy to get anywhere. If you don't have a second-hand store, there is eBay. There are other stores like that. I don't know, what was it? There was something like Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace is also a thing. So just do that. You can put the games on your phone. Our phones today are powerful enough to play almost every game that Nintendo has ever made, which is, I don't know, it feels weird, but it's just as simple as that. And the Steam Deck, obviously, if you don't have a Steam Deck, there are the ROG Ally. Just don't buy the Xbox one because that's just a branded version that's more expensive. So yeah, just buy the regular one. There are other PC handhelds where you can also play these games as well. So, but then again, if you want, you can do whatever you want. I'm not telling you how you should spend your money. If it brings you joy, that brings me joy. So, let's just look at what the IEEPA is. What is the IEEPA? So, let's go back here. International Emergency Economics Power Act. Okay. On February 20, 2026, the US Supreme Court held that tariffs imposed by the Trump administration under the IEEPA were unlawful because the president had exceeded the authority granted under that act. Okay, I have no idea. This is not my country. I don't know what laws there are, so I'm not going to say anything about those. Going back to Nintendo. There it is. Oh my god. On February 20th, this US Supreme Court found the tariffs to be unconstitutional. Subsequently, the New York judge Richard Eaton of the US Court of International Trade stated that all importers of record were entitled to benefit following the ruling. Eaton said he will be the one hearing cases involving refunds. President Trump later said that he would impose new 50% tariffs, an increase from the previous tariffs. Nintendo launched its Switch 2 console shortly after the tariffs were announced, and the tariffs actually delayed United States pre-orders for the hardware. Okay. I'm sorry, but I don't think that this is going to work. Again, I have absolutely no idea how the law there overseas works on this bigger island over there. But this is going to be interesting. I'm going to keep my eye on that one. But Nintendo, I think you're a little bit all over your head just because they're trying to do something here doesn't mean it will go through. There are other people who will also push back against this one because they do make quite a lot of money with the tariffs. Okay, so Marathon. It is just so funny to me. I'm really sorry. I don't need the IEEPA page anymore. So, Marathon, 40 euros. And or your regional equivalent for the small version, with the cut content, or 60 euros and or your regional equivalent for the regular version, the full game. It's not even a full game because there are microtransactions in it. And yeah, there is stuff. Marathon has $50 cosmetic packs. Oh boy, I do wonder why. And there is obviously a little bit more. We're not going to go into that one, but it's just, again, Destiny with a Marathon skin on there. And I've watched a couple of live streams. I've watched a couple of videos, and there are places that it's just Destiny. Holy crap. There are spots that look very similar to the Vex, that look very similar to the Hive, and the other ones also look very similar to the Fallen. And of course, don't forget the enemies, the big robots that have the same moveset. And I do kid you not, the same moveset as the Cabal. They were so creatively bankrupt and lazy. They just pulled the movesets out of one of their games, which by the way is dying, into another game that is not looking so well. But I'm still going to say that it will not be an immediate Concord 3. It's going to take a while, maybe a year. I've said this a couple of times already. Sony is going to keep Marathon alive for a while. So, we have this article by Push Square. Oh boy, I do wonder why. Probably because they're trying to glaze Marathon right now. Where's our Marathon PS5 review? It's not a sprint, writes Sammy Barker. Yes, you can bark up that tree and Sony will give you your little treats that you can gobble up like the good little dog you are. Marathon is out and you may be wondering when we'll publish our PS5 review. After all, this is a major first-party game from Sony and represents the culmination of the console makers' holy crap, I didn't know that, a $3 billion Bungie acquisition. I thought this was less. I thought this was 300 million or something like that, but not 3 billion. Holy crap. The truth is, you won't read our review for a little while. Now, why? I do ask you, Sammy Barker, why? As a live service game, the extraction shooter is expected to evolve over the coming weeks and months. Crucially, its endgame zone, Cryo Archive, an area said to have raid-like puzzle solving, in addition to close quarters combat, will not release until later in the month. So let's go back to Destiny. Do you see the raid-like puzzle solving? I mean, most of the people probably remember the Vault of Glass. You know, the very first time we went in there, it blew our minds. We played that raid every week. Crota, on the other hand, was so short, was so stupid. There were not even puzzles in there. They were like, oh, what do we have to do? Oh yeah, this. And that's it. It was done. And even then you could just skip the puzzles. And there were other raids as well, which are not worth mentioning. I mean, wait, the Cabal Emperor, that one was really fun. I take it back, that one was really fun, yeah. And yeah, all those things were also not in the initial release of Destiny. But we did have the reviews for Destiny and Destiny 2 on release. Which, by the way, are not working anymore because the release version of Destiny 2 is just not available anymore. You cannot play the Red War, which, by the way, had an amazing soundtrack. The story was crap, but the soundtrack was great. And they cannot go back because the Tiger engine changed so much. They can't even prove that they had their own story to a judge in court because someone sued Bungie over the story because it was just a one-to-one replica. But this is another story. Bungie has asked critics to consider not submitting scored reviews until this is available. We're going to respect that. I wonder why. I do wonder. It's not just like that you're getting early access to the games, that you can play them earlier. You don't have my respect here, Push Square. It's important to underline that this is not a mandate or a requirement. We, like all other publications, are free to rate the game right now if we so choose. We're sure some other outlets will. Yeah, I'm giving the game a 5 or a 6 from what I have seen. I don't need to play it to see that it's aggressively meh. But we feel it's important for us to test the full scope of what Bungie's created, so we're going to wait until we've been able to truly try this endgame mode before we submit our review. We appreciate this is an unusual situation, and we know some of you will have expected a score as soon as possible. For now, we'd like to direct you to our hands-on impression of the recent server slam. Following this logic, you should never review this game, as it is a live service game. It will evolve all of the time. So, are you telling me that you are willing to update your score with every patch, with every update, with every add-on? Probably not. You're just going to give this game a glowing review of probably a 9. And then that's it. And I did not want to do this early. I wanted to give it a little bit of time because this is the release on Thursday. This is Friday. This is still Friday, and this is today, Saturday. The last 24-hour peak is not even reaching the second day of release peak. But we're going to look at this on Monday again, because this might go up again, because it's a weekend. People still have things to do, so let's just wait for Sunday. Stuff might happen there. But also, now it's interesting because, again, there is another Sony published game, Horizon Hunters. Oh, there it is, Hunters Gathering. What news do you have about this one? Did you get in beta invites for Horizon's divisive PS5 PC multiplayer game out now? So no, you did not speak of the game, which is really weird, wouldn't you say? I mean, this is a very big game. This test is technically under NDA, so you're not supposed to stream or share any footage from it. Oh boy. I wonder why. We're sure that's not going to stop a ton of content from leaking online this weekend, though. Did we see anything of it? I didn't, because on Steam we already talked about that one. Just about a little bit over 500 people were talking about this game. Horizon Hunters Gathering closed test. It was 561 people playing this on PC. And yes, there's an argument to be made that people were playing it on PS5. But I screenshotted these beforehand so that that the mods are not going to, delete these. Let's just look at this one here first, because I did not have them in order on my desktop. Closed playtest confidentiality. We'd like to remind everyone of an important rule. The closed playtest is confidential. If you've been invited, please do not share on the Steam discussion section any details about the playtest. We understand that it's exciting and we truly appreciate your enthusiasm. However, to ensure a fair experience for all players and to protect the integrity of the test, Please keep all playtest discussions within the official Discord closed playtest channels only. Yeah, I don't buy that. Why would they do this? Because they know that the game is probably not going to do well. This is one of the reasons, exactly this is one of the reasons why Sony is abandoning single-player games on PC. Especially Ghost of Yotei, you know, the game that was supposed to come out on Steam as well, but not anymore. This is the reason why Shift Up, the South Korean development studio, Stellar Blade and Goddess of War Nikke, are now self-publishing Stellar Blade 2. Because they know that the game's not going to do well. And they don't want the people to know the numbers, because they cannot fake these numbers. On the PlayStation Network, you cannot see these. Then we have this one. Funny how the fake Horizon game understood Horizon better. After watching the trailer for Horizon Hunter's Gathering, it's hard not to feel like the project is drifting away from what made the Horizon series compelling in the first place. What makes this even more frustrating is the contrast within the Chinese multiplayer Horizon-inspired game, Light of Motiram. You know, the game that has been taken down, which Sony and Guerrilla were so quick to shut down. And I understand now why. Ironically, that version seemed to understand Horizon far better, from its grounded combat, machine-focused encounters and survival-driven progression, to its respect for the established lore and overall tone of the world. On top of that, the graphics looked fantastic, and the character designs were strong and believable, stylish, detailed, and fitting the universe. Everything felt cohesive and true to the franchise. I absolutely agree. I did put Light of Motiram immediately on my wish list. Now it will never see the light of day. Meanwhile, Horizon Hunter's Gathering goes in the opposite direction. The gameplay leans into exaggerated, almost superhero-like abilities that make no sense in the context of Horizon, and the characters look goofy and out of place, seemingly designed less for the world itself and more to tick every inclusivity box imaginable. It really raises the question, who is this game being made for? Because this direction doesn't seem aimed at Horizon fans who loved the original atmosphere, lore, visuals and gameplay loop. When a knockoff understands the franchise better than the official project, something has clearly gone wrong. Thank you so much, Neo Drake. I hope this is how I pronounce your name correctly. This is exactly it. But then again, this is what Monster Hunter, what Capcom is doing with Monster Hunter again. The regular main big Monster Hunter games, you know, like World, Rise and Wilds, is going into the more realistic route with the aesthetic and everything else. Everything has a little bit of weight to it. Well, at least for me as a Lance player, it is weighty. Man, I'm not that fast, but I can take a hit from a monster. And then we have Monster Hunter Stories, you know, with the more cartoony-esque style, with the over-the-top animations and everything. They're trying to do the same thing here, just in the different direction. Yeah, and the last one here, constructive criticism. Genuinely curious if Sony understands why so many people hate Concord, Marathon and this. Customers, especially PlayStation owners, want your signature single-player games. Yes, we do. They don't want any more live service games. Then again, I do like me a good live service game. It's just that the majority of them are just plain as bad. Game development should start with an idea and people who believe in it. It should not start with a call from a corporate demanding 8 live service slop games be delivered by 2030 because the bean counters believe this is to be the current industry trend for maximum profitability. I think that's right. Shifting so many resources from games people want to live service slop shifting so many resources from games people want to live service slop people don't want means the customers will be unhappy. Skinning people's favorite franchises and putting those skins on live service slop will make some of your customers outright mad. It's not just that the live service slop is bad, which it is. It is that people have been robbed of a new Horizon game, a new Uncharted game, a new God of War game. Oh boy, this was before the leaks. And maybe even a new Spider-Man game. And that money went to make Concord, Marathon, and this. Thank you, Viper, for this post as well. This does not work, and we do know why. And Sony is on a negative trajectory here. But we already talked a lot about this. I'm not going to buy a PS6. I'm not going to buy the next Xbox. I haven't bought an Xbox since the 360 because they were just plain as bad. Yeah, that's really sad now that I think about it. Because I do like Xbox. I want it back. I want the good Xbox back. But like everything, like Bungie, it is a shell. It is a skinwalker. It is empty inside. And because it's been piloted by someone, every company is now being piloted by someone who does not understand the original appeal. But these are just my thoughts. Please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section down below. I'm keen to know what you have to say. And while you're here, please remember to do all the things that make the dings. Why? Because that way we can build a bigger community and talk more video game news every day. And by that I of course mean like and subscribe. And if you want, you can share this video with your friends. And please turn off YouTube's restricted mode. Otherwise, have a great day, my friend. Stay fantastic. Stay hydrated. And I will see you later with Crow Country. We're going to finish that game here on stream. And tomorrow with the next video. Bye, bye, bye.